So, aloha, everyone. Welcome to our self-care and service practice in the love, peace, and harmony field. My name is Laurie, and very happy to be with all of you today. And so today we will be going right into our session, and we'll do with our usual check-in. Welcome those who are joining. And we've been continuing with our transforming stress. And the chapter was like being the lion, right? And today we're going to talk about diversifying our identity. And then we're going to do a love, peace, and harmony field meditation and discuss some next steps for your wellness journey. So let's go ahead and do our check-in. And again, for those of you who are used to this, just checking in, you can do like a body scan. And what we're noticing is without judgment, we want to notice how our thoughts, emotions, our bodily or physical symptoms and sensations are, as well as our actions and behaviors. And you can reflect upon the past week since we've last met, for those of you joining regularly. And we want to just notice without, again, as I mentioned, without judgment, but with kindness and compassion. Because if we are on the more challenging or negative side of things, it may indicate that we need to take some time to reassess, to check in and to rebalance, to center, ground, and lower our stress level. Many times these, if it's on the other end, these are signs of high stress or burnout that you want to be mindful of so we can not allow that to overtake us. Okay. So just being honest with yourself, and you might want to notice which area kind of goes under our usual attention. So a lot of times I've been managing thoughts and emotions, and I'm used to attending to that, but I may overlook my body symptoms. I might feel like I'm okay, but then I feel maybe tired or some pain, which means I may need to take care of that part of myself, right? And sometimes actions and behaviors, they might not be the overt, like, oh, I'm being unkind to other people, or I'm, doing negative things, but it could just be feeling more clumsy and tripping, or like for me, I tend to forget things a bit more when I'm under higher levels of pressure or stress. So being aware of what's going on and really looking deeper into like the usual, maybe like the main ones, but that's fine if you're there. But for those of you joining regularly and checking in, you might want to see if there's another layer that you may not be fully aware of yet, and kind of add that to your information to know that, these are signs that let me tune in. What do I need? And take care of yourself. Okay. And wherever you are, that's fine. You might give yourself a number and see how it goes after we do our exercise today. And just a review, we are on this chapter 3 this month, right, of being the lion versus the gazelle, right? So it's basically a metaphor for threat versus the challenge mindset. And the threat mindset, we usually, when we're feeling challenged or threatened, we feel fear, and our blood vessel, it constricts our blood flow, right? Vessels constrict. Whereas in the challenge mindset, actually it shifts. We actually feel more in control. We're equipped with resources. It's a bit more confident. We actually feel more blood pumping from the heart, which is related to longer telomeres. And for those of you who are familiar with telomeres, actually Dr. Alice Epple, which wrote the stress book, she's actually does a lot of research with the telomeres. And these are like these parts in your body that are linked to longevity and vitality. So if you go online or if you kind of search it up, you'll find some information about telomeres. Even I think Dr. and Master Shaw, who is the creator and founder of the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation, I think they're doing also a telomere study as well. So what do you mean by diversifying your identity? So as I'm speaking, you might reflect if this has, you can identify to this or relate to this in any way. And this may happen for those who may not feel confident in things and identify with a certain role, but it can also happen when those kind of over-identify with a role that you feel you might even feel confident or competent at, but might feel the pressure. So for example, in the book she gives with like a professional athlete who all of a sudden started having panic attacks because they were known to be very good and competent in the role, but they felt the pressure of that role, right? So afraid of making mistakes, afraid of what people will think of them, and so forth, right? So once they realize they're more than their professional job or role, and even though the world is kind of putting a lot of pressure, the reason they disclose it is that they felt like others could learn about it as well. So this is a basketball player in diversifying your identity. But we might have this as well. For example, if we are a parent, like you're at a job situation, you may identify with a certain role. And if anyone questions it, or if you question it yourself, feeling like you made a mistake, you can really go into that gazelle mode where you feel the fear and your blood vessels constrict, right? And so we're going to do an exercise along this to just kind of note if this may apply to you. So sometimes you might not even be aware, like that this is what's happening. So this is just to allow ourselves to maybe look within a bit more. And what we're wanting to do is just remember that we are more than one role. We have usually more than one responsibility, or there's more than just one aspect of our lives, right? So in our meditation today, we might ask, what is it about this situation that is making my sense of self feel threatened, right? So sometimes someone might say unkind to you, unkind things, and oh, you're the worst, dot, dot, dot. Or you did this mistake, dot, dot, dot. Or we might have these thoughts about ourselves like, oh, I'm supposed to be dot, 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 and like I made this mistake. Okay. So once we remember that none of us are just one thing, and we have different roles, and we have different things that we care about our values. And I think maybe next week we'll talk more about that. We can actually shift. So this is a bit about like last week, we talked about zooming out, right? When we're in a challenge, we take a step back and we zoom out of the situation. It's a spontaneous self-distance. And this way you can do that too. And you can do it particularly in like, okay, what's going on? And instead of thinking like, I'm only my job, I'm only a caregiver or a parent, you can gently expand it to I'm many things, right? I'm a friend, I'm a neighbor, I'm a learner, I'm a creator, I'm a soul, a being of light. You could expand your identity, right? So you're not just one thing. And we're going to do this exercise in this love, peace, and harmony field. So hopefully you're already maybe starting these questionings and you're thinking, okay, do I fall into this or not? And if not, it's fine. We're going to have the love, peace, and harmony field up so you can enjoy it and receive the benefit in your way. And for those who are maybe watching, are newer to the love, peace, and harmony field, we believe that everything has its own vibratory field. And each one of our vibrational fields are connected in the quantum field of the collective. So for all of us here, maybe watching live on Zoom, on Facebook Live, we all have our own vibrational field. So if all of us maybe have a certain thought or way of being, we may, whether if it's we're all feeling threatened, right? Or anxious, we could actually, it could feel very interesting, right? Like it could be very actually, okay, our own anxieties might feel even more palpable because other people are feeling it too. And so when we align with the vibrations of love, peace, and harmony, we can not only uplift our lives, but we can support the uplifting of the world. Okay, so if you see what's going around up around the world, I just happened to come by certain news things, and immediately I could feel myself shifting, the consciousness shifting, and I could feel like the anxiety coming up. So what we might want to do is we can serve by collectively being mindful that this happens and there's no judgment on it, but let's bring more love, peace, and harmony to the world because it needs that frequency and vibration. So thank you to all of you here present. Support that. And it can help us provide this safe space to open our hearts and minds, to remember our various aspects of ourselves and positively expand our identity so we can get into a more helpful space. So even if we do feel challenged, we're in the challenge mode that our body can still respond differently, right? So this chapter was a lot about reinterpreting stress. So we're not saying stress is bad, but if we can take the positive aspects of it and make it work for us, for example, many people, when they're seeing what's going on in the world, instead of just staying stuck in the anger or frustration or anxiety, it's like, well, what can we do, right? And let's join together to kind of start movements. That's how many positive movements have started. So let's do our meditation. So let's, first of all, just allow yourself to get into your safe space. And just inhaling that light, feeling that love, peace, harmony. Notice how your safe space feels like, if it's indoor or outdoor. For those of you who have been connecting with the love, peace, and harmony field, we hope that this also provides you the safe space that you can return to all the time to be in this field of high frequency vibration and light, to feel greater unconditional love, peace, and harmony, where we feel unconditionally loved, protected, and supported in this space. And as we build on and practice other things that we've done in these sessions, you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your lower abdomen or over your navel. Visualize this ball or sphere of light in your lower abdomen. So we've had sessions on this. So practicing those. And today I just want you in this field of safety. There's no judgment. No one's here to judge you. You want to remind yourself that you can let go of your own self-judgment. Think about a situation where you may have negatively questioned yourself and your roles. Like maybe you made a mistake or you got, I used to work in the schools and bound to get letters from parents who do not think you're good at your job, right? And you can really question who you are if you're good and your confidence lowers. And see if it was because, I've identified I was early in my career, I want to do a good job. We have many thoughts that make us maybe over-identify with the role or put pressure on ourselves. And so for me, I was blessed with wonderful colleagues who actually celebrated that for me, like it's a coming to passage situation that, put things into perspective, that not everyone will like you and think you're doing a good job. There will be people, whether they misunderstood the situation or not, will have, not so good things to say or venting anger, frustration. And it's perfectly fine, even if you made a mistake or had an oversight. That's part of learning, and we can see ourselves with kindness and compassion and feel this field of love, peace, and harmony. And also, we have several of us online, wishing well for others. This is a self-care and service practice. Many of you who watch this video, I know, do wonderful service, whether it's for your family, your community, various organizations, in your job. So allowing ourselves to serve each other here. We all wish well for each other. And allow yourself to just feel the support you're receiving, that you're not alone. You have others that support you. You may even connect with spiritual fathers and mothers that you believe in to feel their love and support. And just allow yourself to relax your heart, soul, heart, mind, and body with love, peace, and harmony. And as you relax and feel, focus on feeling the positive information, message, frequency, and vibration of the field of the group that supports each other. And naturally see if there's other ways that you can perceive, re-perceive your roles. So, for example, if I got attacked professionally, over identifying, we're judging, sometimes we're judging ourselves. You might see someone do wonderful work and we judge like, oh my goodness, this person who's younger, less experienced might be doing a better job. We might do our own judgment, right? Or I should have known this, or right, we might do it as a parent. I remember thoughts putting pressure. Oh, I have a education or a psychology background. I should be a better mom, right? I should know this. Feeling all of that pressure. And if something happens, right, we feel we attack ourselves, so to speak. So if there might be a situation in the past, maybe you haven't resolved, you still feel bad about, you can notice if there's any negative emotional intensity. And just allow yourself to connect with it. Some of you are familiar with the face meditation, which we're facing it with love, peace, and harmony. F is an acronym. We're going to feel and focus the love, peace, and harmony. A, we're just going to be aware of what comes up with ourselves and acknowledge it. We accept it without judgment. And C, we practice this compassion. We connect with that area within our bodies that we feel with kindness and compassion. We had a workshop this weekend and our theme was the kindness. So really noticing that, the benefits of connecting with ourselves kindly, compassionately. So that stands for C. And then E is to enlighten. Imagine this light from the love, peace, and harmony field radiating in to support you. And again, there's no judgment, there's no attachment. Just feeling the light come in. And as you're feeling the light come in, you may naturally feel wisdom, like enlightened for like an enlightened being, the wisdom and light coming through. And let yourself naturally receive different ways of perceiving your situation or yourself. And you may notice that there might be other aspects of yourself that come to mind, that you're not only one role, you're not only a parent, you're not only a daughter, you're many things. You might be a friend. Again, as we mentioned, we are a being of light. Allow yourself to naturally receive and know who you are so you can expand your awareness. So if you get overly involved and focused with one role, you can expand out. Again, you can practice your spontaneous self-distancing, looking at it from an uplifted, expanded awareness, just noticing. And a different way of looking at the situation. I think in one of our sessions, we talked about how we can re-perceive the situation more kindly and compassionately. Notice if that naturally comes to mind. Just as when we use I like to call it with my clients, my counseling clients, our best friend voice, like the greatest best friend. Where you love, you adore your best friend, you look highly at them, but you're also close enough to encourage, nourish, nurture, and also confront in a way that allows them to move forward, being honest, but not with judgment, but with love and belief in who they are, wanting the best for them. And notice how your self-talk voice comes in. Notice the tone. Is it filled with love, peace and harmony, compassion, kindness? Or do you feel it that it's still a bit critical and negative about yourself? If so, maybe expand more out, connect with it. Love, peace, and harmony. Feel this unconditional love, peace, and harmony. And again, this is not to excuse, bad behaviors, to have them continue, but to see them more objectively, kindly, with encouragement to move forward, to learn from our mistakes. Not to feel unduly, ashamed or guilty or bad about any part of ourselves, or getting into that pressured mode that, we have too high expectations of ourselves to be perfect and overtake us. Just appreciate. See if you can move to a sense of appreciation for yourself, for your commitment to your self-care and service journey. allowing you to understand, be mindful of more of the roles that you hold with no judgment, but with kindness and compassion. So self-care, I feel it is about doing a lot. You can do a lot of physical things outside to take care of yourself, like get a massage, rest. But a lot is this internal transformation, how we think about ourselves, what messages we give ourselves, how we inspire ourselves and motivate ourselves to continue to move forward, to grow, to learn, to become wiser, stronger, more resilient. And let's breathe in love, peace, and harmony. Exhale, feel that light going throughout your entire being. You could identify with a person committed to love, peace, and harmony, to have love, peace, and harmony in their lives, to share love, peace, and harmony with others. That could be an identity, a role, part of the role that you have. And so when one area feels threatened, allowing yourself to move in your role as a love, peace, and harmony participant or advocate or supporter or believer, right? To whichever way. Let's just give thank you, thank you, thank you. Giving love and gratitude to yourself, the field, love, peace, harmony field, and to each other. Thank you all for your service. It's love, peace, and harmony. And I'd love to hear how this experience was for you. For some, you might be familiar. Some may not have thought about the roles we carry much and how much over-identification we might have. So I know for me, when I read the chapter, I never really thought too much about it, but I could relate with some of the situations that examples in the book that they've come up with, and how similarly I might have put pressure on myself in certain situations, creating more undue stress. And this is a strategy that you can practice to kind of remind yourself you're not just that. So wonderful. So I love people can either share, unmute and share, or maybe write in the chat. And maybe as I'm waiting. Oh, did someone want to share? Not sure if someone unmuted. But as I'm waiting for people maybe to write in the chat. Oh, we do have someone sharing. Go ahead.
Hi, Master Laurie, this is Irma.
Hi, Irma.
And I just want to say that I felt overwhelmed this morning, they're watching the news on TV
Yes.
and listening to whatever was going on and experiencing this weather as it
Yeah.
happened. And overwhelmingly felt pressured and worried, etc. Even though, here at my home, I was feeling safe, but, just understanding what other people are going through. Morning with this love, peace, harmony session, reading the message of love, peace, and harmony brought soothness and the overwhelmness, subsided, and I feel so much better this morning.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Irma, for sharing. That's beautiful. And you bring up a wonderful point of one thing I love when I learn about love, peace, and harmony, because a lot of times, like we have compassion, like Irma does, and I know all of you here are so compassionate beings that we care about what happens to others, even if maybe we're okay, we know other people are suffering or affected by things, and love, peace, and harmony. And we might not be able to actually go out of our house and help, you know, um, physically at the moment, but we can always bring that message of love, peace, and harmony. And as we talk about the vibrational field, it gave me something to do. So every time I would hear something negative and I felt for, someone that I read about or heard about, I can go into like singing love, peace, and harmony, right? And invite others to join me in that, or invite their souls to sing with me or be, in the field with me to send that message out there. So I always felt like at least there's something I can do. So thank you, Irma, for bringing up that wonderful sharing and that point. Akara mentioned always appreciative, so nourishing and healing. Thank you for your compassion and teachings. Oh, thank you, Akara. So wonderful that you could join us today. And thank you, everyone. And just a reminder, some of you are familiar with these offerings for the next steps. But again, for those of you who are not, we are being inspired by the Stress Prescription book, 7 Days to More Joy and Ease by Alyssa Epple. She also has the telomeres studies for those of you, longevity related to that. So you can look into her work. And we do have, as our Satori Family Wellness Center helps to sponsor with the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation, we do have more Love, Peace, Harmony meditations. Usually they are on every first 3 Mondays of each month. And you can watch some of the old sessions on our YouTube channel. We also have our free wellness evening on Thursdays that we invite you. It's usually on Zoom from 7 to 8 p.m. Hawaii time. Usually if Chiemi is available the first Thursday of the month, or when she's on, she may have it live in person. So for those of you who are interested joining live, you can connect with her. And if you need a bit more support getting started on your self-care service journey, please, we offer some complimentary 15-minute sessions for those of you who, are new and beginning and need some support. And also make sure you are connect with your own healthcare providers, as this is not to replace any medical or psychiatric or psychological guidance. This is just more for your education. And for your service journey, here's a QR code as well as a website up here. You can get the Love, Peace, and Harmony song. That's a wonderful way that you can serve. It leads you to the foundation where you can see what other ways you can support the foundation and do other charity works that they're involved in. Okay. So just a reminder, self-care is service. Increase your self-care to increase the quality of your service. So I want to thank all of you again for being here, for taking the time for your self-care and service journey. And I love greeting everyone personally. So we'll first of all say goodbye to our live stream. Anyone there? So we say thank you for joining. Aloha. And also those who watch this on YouTube, thank you for joining us. I wonder if I forgot to record. Let me see.
No, you did not.
I did record? Okay.
No, you did.
Great,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Okay.